So I don't know if you've tried the middle problem yet. You may have tried it, and oh, where's my, there it is. I'm trying to get all these tools I'm trying to grab. Whoop. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at it. They're kind of intimidating, but they all do kind of work the same. So it's like once you do a couple of them, you're like, okay, yeah, yawn. But somebody walking in from the hallway would look at that and go, what? That just looks terrifying, right? So we're going to do the limit as x approaches 7. I know this is a 0 over 0. I can check it real quick in my head. I also know because I wrote it. And here's what happens. I've got this. And this is where I'm going to burn you if you start getting a little lazy. 11 minus x times 11 minus x is 11 minus x. Minus 4. So that is what's in the numerator with other stuff in the denominator. Okay, friends, those are not the same. 7 minus x and x minus 7 are not the same. If I put a 9 in, 7 minus 9 is negative 2, 9 minus 7 is positive 2. They are not the same. But they are, they're not conjugates, but that's a good word. They are they're opposites. They're opposites. So if I divide opposites, like a 4 and a negative 4, or a 10 and a negative 10, or a negative 3 and a 3, what do I get when I divide opposites? Negative 1. How many of you already did that right? Everyone's like, no. No, because you did 2 of them, so you're like, I know what's going to happen. This is going to be x minus 7, and it's going to cancel out, and I know what the answer is. Yeah, you gotta watch for this opposite twist. And there's not really there's not a huge way to know, to know that that's coming. It's a better idea just to kind of go through the steps than, if you think about it enough, you could probably predict when you were going to need to worry about this. So negative 1/4. Negative 1/4. Not positive. Negative 1/4. And yeah, big difference. That's not like, oh, I don't care, just put it. Make sure you're okay with why that's negative and how that happened. You got to watch this. You got to watch this for a couple reasons. You got to make sure that you've got a squared minus b squared. And if this happens to flip around and the root is in the back, you got to make sure you have the grouping. I'm going to use those grouping symbols consistently when I square this root, because if this part's in the back behind the negative instead of in the front, it's going to be a little tricky. Yes?
When you do the thing where you multiply the thing with whatever's underneath the square root, is it always going to be the same? So like anytime if it was like 12 minus x times 12 minus x underneath the square root, it would still be the same thing?
Absolutely, yes, 100%. That's the whole that's why part of the way they're conjugates, because whatever's here, the exact same thing is here. And so when you multiply them, you get that thing squared. So yeah, if this is the square root of y squared plus 3, and this is the square root of like that, okay? As scary as that would look, you're like, why would it be that way? It doesn't matter. When I multiply that times that, and they're both square roots, it's going to be that. This would be that. Good question. And that's the kind of things you think about. That's kind of how you're starting to understand it. Is like you think about, well, what if you did that? Would it still work? You know, if you start thinking of like the what ifs, then that's a bigger understanding than just I'm going to memorize it. All right, so here's what I want you to do. I would like you to, if you haven't done it yet, try the last two. Okay? They got a little extra fun in there because of the root expression, so, but conceptually still the same thing. Try these two, and then going back to the homework worksheet, make sure that before you come to class on Tuesday that you have finished the front and you've done the first 4 problems on the back, which are problems G, H, I, and J. Okay, that is where we're going to stop, at least for note information for today. Go ahead and try those last 2. I'm going to come around and kind of help you as you need it, and we'll go from there.